Welcome to Crescent City with your hosts Natalie Jean and Jackie Zabrowski.
I swear in person it doesn't look as bad as this.
I don't think it looks bad.
I look a little bit like John Travolta
I
in
was
Pulp
just
Fiction.
about to say that you do look like John Travolta in Pulp Fiction, but like in a sexy way.
No, I'm having a
Like,
bad face day.
No,
it's fine.
You're not having
They
a bad
happen.
face day.
They happen. I'm hormonal. It's okay.
I mean, I was just saying that I feel like I look like I've been on a bender, and I'm not. And maybe I'm just plump and luscious.
Yeah.
Rather
think
than
you look great.
bloated.
Oh, you feel bloated?
I guess, but I feel like I look bloated on the camera. You know, this is.
I'm taking this jacket off. It is haunting
yeah.
me.
Yeah, now you can't be John Travolta in Pulp Fiction if you don't have the jacket on.
No, because look at my breasts.
Yeah, you've got breasts under there.
Yeah.
And I will say, I did accidentally think that maybe you were being Hunt gender bent, but I also
I
am here
love
for
that, though.
too.
I think that's a great idea for a future costume. And
Yeah,
it could
dude.
kind of just be this.
Yeah, it certainly could.
I had one of my costumes that I was planning on today, a piece of it had not arrived yet, and so I decided to dress up as Victoria the Wraith, even though there's like literally zero fan art of her.
Yeah, but that's good though. You're bringing her into reality, and I bet she thanks you somewhere.
If you have not read these books and you're just listening through, you're in for a surprise about her future.
Surprise!
That's all I'll say.
All I know is that I've been spending a lot of time staring at Etsy and trying to not purchase, like, I live in the books shirts. I want every shirt that's like, if you want me, I'll be in a book. And I don't need to turn into that woman.
It is a choice
in her
to
late
make.
30s.
It's a choice to make.
Not that there's anything wrong with it.
No,
I just
no.
know that I'm like, I have so many in my Etsy shopping cart right now.
Sorry, I can't right now. I'm with my book boyfriend.
But it is. Because that's how I feel. I'm reading this one book called Consort of Fire right now. And oh man, I'm just like, it's just me and my dragon god. And that's all I care about.
For your Patreon, is that what you're doing?
No, just for life.
Oh, just for
Yeah.
you're not doing it to make content?
No.
What's wrong with you?
It is honestly, it is the first book I have read that is just for me. And I think 2+ years.
I'm glad for you.
Thank you. I know that I need to do it. And I feel like what I love here in our book club that we experience on LPN Romantasy Deep Dives is that we're encouraging each other to read more. And especially, do we want to live in our current reality? No. So why
I do
not
think
read smut?
There's a reason fantasy is making a huge comeback right
Dude, it's just put me in the book. Leave me there. Someone dared try to recommend a book to me that didn't have fucking in it. And I was like, why read
now. Why
it?
would I read that?
I don't understand. What's the point of reading the book? What, a good story? A good character? I get all of those things inside of my smut.
Mhm.
Thank you very much.
And you're well read. You've read many. It's not like you weren't a reader before this.
No, I
but
was a voracious
I didn't
reader.
know I could have an enjoyable story with also a bunch of erotica in it.
Yeah, and it wasn't until the true resurgence for me of erotica. Like, I didn't know that everything was
No.
changing in the world of it up until we started with ACOTAR a
Well,
couple of years ago.
LeVar Burton never told me.
Yeah, I thought I could fly twice as high, all
But
right?
he didn't say there was erotica.
No. And now I'm taking a look, and if it's
It's
in
in a
that book, yeah, baby. Oh, baby, I got a reading rainbow, and the pot of gold is right down yonder.
She's pointing towards her junk.
That's a really good pickup line. I mean, it's a creepy pickup line, but I think
You
that
can't use it. You're married.
you're right. And even though we've been watching a lot of 90 Day Fiancé before the 90 days, it is just doesn't show good relationships, guys. You can't learn about a relationship.
No, that show doesn't
I-
show that.
I dare say it actually makes me feel even better about my relationship, which is why
I do
watch
think a lot of
the
people watch it for
shows.
that reason.
I was just like, well, at least we enjoy that, huh?
Yeah.
I mean,
I do think the Sabine and you, because you are dressed as Sabine currently,
Thank you.
would pick up on somebody by using the reading rainbow line.
You're right. I actually feel like she's more like goes up to them, grabs them by the lapel, and just kind of drags them out afterwards. And then she goes like the person is just like, I guess we're gonna have sex. And you can't do those things.
No, that sounds like
Sabine.
assault,
You
brother.
shouldn't do those things. I'm not saying Sabine is a good person.
No, she's doesn't seem to be. We'll find out a little bit more.
No, we certainly will. I'm sorry. Yes, we certainly
Yes,
will. No.
yes, we will.
But I can't not be attracted to Sabine.
well, I mean, yeah, she's hot.
She's hot, but she's so mean, and that's my biggest downfall.
You want somebody to be mean to you?
Yeah, sometimes.
Well, yeah, I mean, like in the toxic parts of your brain.
in the toxic parts of my brain. It's why I'm not married to a woman. Yeah. Oh, but I love it when they're mean to me. Tell me what to do, put me down. Tell me what to do and put me down. That's why, again, not married to a woman. But Sabine, I would have quite a weekend with. I'd be terrified the entire time.
I don't think I can do that. But I appreciate your fantasies.
Thank you.
I respect them.
Again, it's better than the reality.
I mean, you have a personally very nice life.
Oh,
It
my
sounds like you're
relationship
trying
is
to
great.
leave
No.
restaurant.
My relationship is great. I just meant the state of the world. No, sometimes I hide in my relationship as well. And if we could do nothing but like lay on each other and look into each other's eyes and have sex and never see
Not
anybody else
me,
ever
you
again.
and
Me
your
and my husband.
husband,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, I mean you dressed as John Travolta in Pulp Fiction. That's who I've been dreaming of since I could remember first.
I'm having a bad face day, guys.
Your face is part of the beautiful person that you are. And I think you're always having a good face day.
No, thank you. My face card is not facing right now.
You know what it is? Sometimes it's hard to build each other up when you're both feeling like you're not feeling your prettiest. And then you want to be like, no, you're the prettiest. I'm the one that's a nightmare.
Yeah.
No, you are. But I'm the It's like, never talk about yourself like that, but me. And I feel like there's so many friendships that like when you're just like, I have to get to a point where you're like, maybe we're both just in a bad place today.
Yeah.
Maybe we're both just not feeling it.
I do have to actually say, though, randomly, we're wearing almost the same makeup right now. It's like green
Oh my God,
glitters
it is green
and red
glitters.
lipstick.
Yes, it is.
That's
oh my
right
God.
on.
Sisters.
Twin ravens, one white and one black. Different book series. Okay, we should talk about the books now.
Okay,
All
part
right.
3.
Guys, we're at part 3, the canyon.
Yeah.
I didn't actually notice it until I was reading through this time, but the parts are based on bigger and bigger holes. So it's like,
how to get
Let me-
stretched out.
let's get it out.
All right, I got it out.
You got it out. There's like basically like wider precipice
Yeah.
that she's going. So I think it means to say that things are getting a little bit darker. We don't know. We'll see.
Into the chasm we go.
Uh-oh. This third part, unlike the second, doesn't have the massive time jump because if you recall, the second part comes 2 years after the first part.
Right.
This is actually just moments later from where the second part ended.
But it is a different part.
It is now. I'm wondering. We'll find out that this is the moment she chose to shift to the third part. But it is there was a reason she did that.
Oh, yeah.
So this moment takes place just a few minutes after the phone call with Declan that signifies that Sabine had something to do with the tape being manipulated.
But I'm so beautiful.
I
but I'm
know.
so
I
evil.
always say pretty people do not commit crimes.
No.
So
I couldn't get away with it because everyone would be like, but she's so beautiful. How
Right.
could she do it?
unfortunately, I think that does happen a lot in real life.
Ugh. I think, yeah, it's also but they're so rich.
Yes. Why would they ever? They must be so happy. They would never. What?
Oh.
So they don't know why Sabine might be involved, but one big reason is because she maybe was the one who killed Danica.
Bum, bum, bum.
Could
My
she?
own daughter.
Yes, but she obviously held a lot of animosity towards her daughter, more to Bryce. But is she evil enough to have killed her own daughter, her child?
No.
Bryce and Hunt are pondering this as Hunt decides to call Isaiah over to go over the notes he took the night of Danica's death. When Bryce seems haunted by hearing the awful things Sabine was saying, Hunt begins to stroke her knee. So Isaiah, basically, they call him and say, like, can you read back everything she said that night? And it's a lot of her saying, like, Bryce is a whore, that stupid tramp,
and
it's
just having
her
to
fault.
hear that over again.
Which again, that seems crazy. She was the one who was trying to, whatever. I know you need to have a fall guy, and they want to blame Bryce, but it's like, why?
Yeah.
She
And
was
it's just because she
partying?
didn't like her.
I know, exactly. So, yeah.
Oh God, if my mom at some point in my life had to blame like my bad influence friends to get them out of my life, man, she would have been like, whoo, terrifying.
Little does she know, you were the bad friend.
I've never been bad a moment in my life, Mummy.
Mummy!
Mummy, never look towards me, Mummy.
You were just a little naughty.
Yeah, that lighter in my pocket, it's because everybody else was smoking cigarettes. Wasn't me.
Oh, you just wanted to fit in.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Hunt he sees her kind of shaking and he starts to stroke her knee. Okay. You know how you do. Anyway, the notes,
like coworkers do.
Yeah, all your coworkers. The notes are essentially dictating again Sabine was trashing Bryce and kind of blaming her for everything that happened. Also saying that Danica could never keep her mouth shut. They wonder if Sabine was the one who stole the horn and Danica was going to rat her out. So the idea of maybe Sabine took her out because Danica was like, you stole this and I'm going to report you. Could that be a thing? Maybe.
Whoa.
It's a possibility.
Is there like a double jeopardy thing when it comes to mummies?
I don't think so.
Because you can't testify against your married partner, right? Is that the rule?
I think under certain circumstances, but
you
I don't
can't
think
be forced to testify, right?
I think so, but I also wonder if that depends on the charge. I don't know.
I just asked you because you look so corporate. I'm like,
I
you
know.
would know. You've got a button-up shirt
Let
on.
me think for a second.
Let me go through my encyclopedia of lawyerdom.
I don't. Let's just.
We're just pontificating. I don't know.
Let's just say.
I guess
yes.
I'm assuming you can testify against mummy. You know,
I would guess, yeah. Especially because, like, if you're an adult, likely you're not living with her and all that stuff. Like, so, you kind of just have to do it. So
I'm sorry for my tiny slurps. I, for some reason, put a very little straw in my very large cup of coffee, and so I keep going like when bartenders put like a little stirrer in your little drink, and sometimes I like to drink it out of the tiniest of straws so I can make my lips really, really small.
Oh, because she's so little.
And yeah, I'm just a little lady, and
my sweaters are too big for me. You can't see my hand.
Little, because I'm so little. And you could think like maybe Jackie, you don't need to consistently drink the coffee through the entire episode, but.
No, that's not how we operate here.
I'm a Kathy, okay? Ack. I need my coffee.
Away.
All right? Natalie and I need our coffees, okay?
I wish we had a box of chocolate shaped like a heart right now.
Yes, because you never know what you're gonna get.
No.
Was that a Forrest Gump reference?
I assume.
Okay.
Is it another reference somewhere?
No, I didn't know. I thought maybe there was a box of chocolates with coffee somewhere that I wasn't thinking about.
Oh, no.
And then I started weirdly thinking about the movie Cigarettes and Coffee, which is not the time to bring up this movie.
We're
in the middle of a knee stroke, Jackie.
We're stroking knees over here. And Bryce is in her pajamas at this time. They're back, if you'll recall, they're back at her apartment, going over this information, getting this call from Declan, and she's receiving this. Or no, now I'm sorry. They're talking to Isaiah, and they're receiving this information from Isaiah about what Sabine said that night, and she's kind of just like curled up in a ball on the couch next to Hunt, and he removes his hand from her knee as he begins to fantasize about licking her toes, which are currently painted red.
I try not to kink shame ever. And I think it's good that SJM gives him something that, to thirst for. Because that is not my thing, but I still want to kiss Hunt very desperately.
Oh, yeah, it's not
So if that's what he wants, dude, Ain't no skin off my back.
Of all of the kinks there are, I feel like it's one of the least egregious.
I think so too.
It's not my thing.
Don't get me wrong. It can get egregious.
Oh, yes. Well, especially if it's like non-consensual. And stuff.
Oh, no, I shame that. Yes, I shame that. But, you know, he's just fantasizing, and what happens in a person's brain happens in a person's brain.
What are you going to do?
You're
So,
sometimes thinking about things.
as she's like sitting up on the couch, or like her knees are drawn up, and so he can see her toes, and he had to basically remove his hand because his mind started to wander.
This might be too personal of a question, Natalie, but as a dancer, did you ever have people that were into your feet because they liked like dancer feet specifically?
I mean, not that I'm aware
But nothing
of,
that was ever like told
but-
to you. I just wonder if it also goes, because I know that people like, you know, very definitive, like unique feet as well. But I'm curious if there is I'm sure a whole portion of the kink that is just for specifically dancer feet.
like, well,
because
like
they're so
blister,
busted. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you can find accounts all over the place of that shit. But
oh, yeah.
I would get sometimes people reaching out on my Model Mayhem account that I had.
Whoa.
Early aughts, anyone? That
was it like Facebook but for models?
Yeah.
Ah, gotcha.
yeah.
Wow. Oh, yeah. I bet you got hit up.
Yeah,
a
I got
couple
some
of
calls about
times.
my feet.
Yeah, I bet.
You know, it's tempting. I have friends who did who would get invited to like a party where they
Yeah.
would like feet out, get paid.
Why not? Go.
I was tempted. I was always just too scared. I have seen too many horror movies, and I just could never make myself do it.
If it doesn't, I understand if it's not worth it to try to battle your anxiety to overcome to get to do that. So that I understand. But also, like, it's great money.
Yeah, of course.
And if it's in a good consensual space where you feel comfortable and you feel safe.
Yeah.
Always remember that.
Get that-
Safety is first.
Get your
Consent is
bag,
first.
though. Get your bag, girls.
Yeah, get back.
So he chastises himself for his filthy little mind while Bryce sits beside him, concerned and oblivious to where his thoughts are wandering. But he's having a hard time and starts to think about how she made him feel at the gun range.
Oh, hard time, huh?
Someone needs an ice bath, Hunt.
Yeah.
The whole
Not like his hot scalding showers that he usually
Yeah.
takes.
well, that's the opposite.
yeah.
He's not horny during that time.
No.
This whole scene, Bryce is wallowing in contemplation over what Sabine has done, and Hunt is just about to goon everywhere. Bryce, again oblivious that he's imagining licking her entire body, jumps up, telling him that she needs to go running despite it being 1 a.m. I used to actually do this.
Whoa.
It was the only time I ran in my life, but it was because I was so broke. I think I've probably said this on the show before, but it was the only thing I could do, and I hated. I was like in a depressed space, and I hated being around people, and so I would go running through the streets of Philadelphia by myself at night.
In the middle of the night.
Yeah,
That's insane.
yeah, it was
Natalie.
really stupid.
I bet you also stopped. There was a short period of my life where I tried running, but I remember that I would stop to smoke cigarettes. Were you stopping to smoke?
I had quit by then.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How many times me and my best friend Madeline were like, yeah, we did enough. And then we just sit on a curb, smoke a cigarette, and then keep running. But, like, we would keep running.
It's a ballerina's diet, to be honest.
Yeah.
Don't do that, please.
No.
There wasn't any hunk angels standing by my side when I did that.
Maybe they were. They were just creepily in their homes watching you from their beds.
that an
Natalie.
angel?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. An unknown, like an undiscovered angel. Wow.
Just leering at me?
Yeah, hiding
Okay.
in the shadows.
Great.
Like angels do.
I think we're learning the wrong lessons about angels from these books.
Yes. Yeah. Maybe
So-
we're learning the right.
Oh, the right
ones.
ones. So we cut over to Bryce's POV, and they've both basically, she's gotten dressed. He's like, I'm not letting you just go out there. I'm going to come with you. He says, I'll just tail you. He like lets her put her earbuds in. And she's like, oh, I got this big hunky man behind me. I can listen to my music full blast without being worried that I'm going to get attacked, which is nice.
That's nice.
Yeah, I'll take it.
It's nice that she has to have that to feel like she's not going to get attacked.
No,
but
it's not nice.
it
but
is.
It
but,
is,
you know,
it is
it is what
reality.
it is. We're not living in reality. We're living in the books, Natalie. I guess I don't want to live necessarily in these, because then she's getting attacked by a kristallos all the time. She's not just worried about regular men; she's also worried about demons.
I
And so
know,
it's
but I
probably
feel
for the
like the
best.
benefits outweigh the risks.
Yeah,
all the
being
powers and
immortal
stuff.
Yeah. Ugh.
Oh, so we're over at Bryce's POV on this run, and she's just like running and running through the streets, trying to get her nerves, her system kind of regulated so she can go to rest, because she's just like all up in arms thinking about how Sabine, like, could she have killed my best friend? Her leg is bothering her, the place where the kristallos attacked her, and that's again the place Hunt sewed up, and Hunt clocks it and kind of is concerned, but she ignores him, acting like my leg's fine, it doesn't hurt. He never drops his pace with her, though, that whole time. And he doesn't try to convince her to stop. He just accompanies her.
Oh, God.
When they get back
There's just so much of this relationship that I feel like so seen in.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of it. Like, I never identified as a Bryce in any way, but their relationship and why I think I like Hunt so much specifically is as someone that was very, very guarded for a really long time, and finding a husband who is very supportive but also very protective of me.
Mhm.
And I remember at first being like, I don't fucking need you to protect me fucking ever. But it was never anything he was forcing me to do. It was always just like let me just stay, like, I just want to support you so you can be you. And I feel like that is what, like, this moment is. Of
Totally.
Like no, okay, you need to do this. I see that you're hurting yourself. I'm not going to step in because you need to get this out. And that makes the most sense for you right now. I'm just going to be here for you to support you.
You want to dislocate your entire leg? You go right ahead.
Go ahead. I'll be here and I will carry you home. And I love that.
Oh, sure. I mean, I am in no way a Hunt hater by any stretch of the imagination.
No, I think I just need to, like, fully explain myself, because I am obviously, it's just forever. I want a Cass mixed with Hunt.
I get it.
I just want the two of them put together into one character.
A
Maybe
cunt.
we'll get, yeah. Oh God. How bisexual is she?
Yeah, you turn the two men into a
I just want
vagina.
a cut, baby. It's all I want at the end of the day. I mean, you ain't wrong, Nitty.
Okay. So, how about you have both of them, like, with you, but, like, how do you feel about them being, like, sissified a little bit?
I'm fine with it.
Yeah, I could get into that.
Yeah, I could get into that. Yeah, whatever they need. Yeah.
Anyway, so let's when they get back to her place, she's noticeably limping. She tries to brush off his concerns, but concedes to him that this does happen a lot, the limping and the pain. She lies, however, when he asks if she's gotten it looked at by a medwitch. She says, yeah, definitely, I've got it looked at. She thanks him and closes her bedroom door before he can question her further, because we know
that's not true.
Yeah, and we know as the reader, like, she's not dealing with this for
Right.
whatever her reasons are. Chapter 39 is with Ruhn, who is fulfilling his promise to try to pull info from the medwitches about whether they know anything about the horn, because that was Ruhn's task. When they're trying to figure out horn stuff, he said, I'll talk to the witches. He's in the waiting room.
He did say it like that.
I'll talk to the witches.
I was like, oh my God. Are you going to eat some gabagool while you do it?
No, actually, I don't want to give him that accent. I don't feel like he's from Staten Island.
Well,
I don't wanna
I'd be
put that
fine
on
with
him.
I'm fine with it.
No.
Ooh, give me that trash rat. Oh, baby, let's ride a ferry together.
No Staten Island over here.
Also, how dare. You know my father's from Staten Island.
I actually forgot that your dad was from Staten
How
Island.
dare you? You should. That's your never forget, Natalie. My father's from Staten Island.
And look, what did he do?
And
Run
look-
away as a teenager from it?
Got out of Staten Island. He did get out of Staten
Never returned? Did you ever go there with him?
Yeah.
Like, was there still people that he visited in Staten Island?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
We used to go when we were little, and even then I feel like there was and we were from Queens, and I think it's because the only borough that Queens could look down on is Staten
Oh,
Island.
yeah.
And that is for those of you that are not familiar with the city of New York. It is very funny that it's like, of course, Manhattan's all the way up here, but Queens definitely at the bottom, but so is Staten Island, always forever right
Below
underneath it.
Yeah. That's right. At least you're not from Staten Island.
But that's the thing, and I feel like, but that was still like the comments of like my family members that lived in Staten Island. You know, like I'm not saying this to be untoward. I think that everybody knows.
You're being untoward.
I'm sorry. I am wont to do that. It's the Sabine wig.
I know.
The
Sabine
wig.
would not tolerate Staten Island.
Could you imagine Sabine in Staten Island? Could you imagine her on the ferry being handed a Falsta's Australian for bear and her being like, what do you want me to do with this? Where am I going? I thought we were just in Manhattan and now we're what?
I want to watch a buddy comedy about Sabine stuck on Staten Island and how she's going to get off.
But make it like a holiday, you know, like where she's stuck there for a holiday.
Her and Pete Davidson.
Yes.
Yeah.
Please. And like, Bill Burr, get out of here.
So.
Sorry. I didn't mean to go on a tangent. A little Staten Island tangent, everybody.
So he is in the waiting room of the medical office awaiting the witch he's made an appointment with in chapter 39. I noticed something at the beginning of this chapter.
Oh.
Something about his shadows relaxing in this waiting room.
Interesting.
And it made me think of a bonus chapter of ACOTAR. And I can't say more than that, but if you have read all the bonus chapters, you might know what I'm talking about because it gave me some thoughts about what might be coming up in the next book.
My mind just went to 30,000 different places. As I'm saying, you know, it's like I felt the Rolodex of like which chapter is talking about.
It's a bonus chapter,
and now I think I do know what you're talking about, and that is did not think about that. Maybe I think I know what you're talking about.
I can't say it.
God, I want to crack your mind like an egg.
Or you could just wait till we're off.
Yeah, we'll be off.
That's the other
option.
option.
Yeah.
So anyway. Just thought I'd bring that up. Maybe I'll bring it up on the Oops All Spoiler stream or something.
Please.
So, which is, guys, we have the live stream every so often for Throne of Glass.
Next is going to be Air of Fire.
Air of Fire. Yeah, that's the book we're on. But you can see the old ones. I think I've already said this on the show.
Yeah,
you can see the old ones on the Last Podcast YouTube channel. Help us beat the true crime algorithm because that's who gets sent to Last Podcast YouTube and they don't cross over necessarily.
No, we need
with
the
fantasy.
romantasy. We need you guys to watch our YouTubes, please.
So, anyway, we learned through his thoughts that he had spoken with this particular Medwitch at the crime scene the previous night. If you want to go back and recall, that is where they had been. They had found another body, unfortunately. And she had been there attending to the body. And Ruhn had been impressed with her enough that he made an appointment today to speak with her because she seemed like she really knew what she was talking about and doing. As he is greeting this particular witch at her office, he starts to have just kind of reflect on the witches of this world, how they have an ancient magic that can vary from seeing to healing, but
the power was inherited from some ancient source that the witches claimed was a three-faced goddess.
Which is a direct reference to something in Throne of Glass, y'all. That's not a spoiler.
No, it's not. I just think I am so excited with the inclusion of the witches in Throne of Glass. And
the witches are like one of my favorite parts of Throne of Glass.
I kind of wish that I could watch a whole YouTube just discussing the different witches and the different, like, times of SJM and like comparing and like I want to just read about oh my god, we could. Natalie,
we have a green screen room.
Oh my god, Natalie. I just spoke it into existence.
Yeah, you manifested.
I just manifested it.
What are you, a witch?
How you do it. Yeah, oh my god, I witch. I was.
No, get out of here.
I can't believe I just made you laugh with that. You know, I get her every once in a while. You gotta slang them daddy jokes at her every once in a while.
That was a little bit of a daddy joke, and I loved it. So yeah, that is a cross-reference to Throne of Glass in the witches that live in those books. Just interesting. So Ruhn mistakenly assumes her name is Solomon based upon the nameplate on the front counter, but she corrects him, saying that Ms. Solomon is her sister and that she's filling in for her. He doesn't realize till much later that he never catches this witch's name in the interaction. Is that a foreshadow of some sort? I don't know. He finds this witch a raw beauty, and he had been captivated by her large brown eyes even at the crime scene.
I love that these dudes are able to like still be like, oh God, a murder. I'm looking at a corpse, but also I'm kind of hard. But also, oh my God, this is so upsetting. But like, I could be hard.
But also noticed her intellect.
Oh, I guess that's nice as well.
Mm-hmm.
I just,
I have to stand up for my Ruhn.
You're right. You're right. I just, you know what? Honestly, I'm surprised at the amount of multitasking because I feel that is where their multitasking begins and ends.
Well, I guess the noticing their intellect could also make them hard. You know?
I mean, I would hope.
I also hope for the men to be
Especially with Ruhn.
aroused
Ruhn
by
is
intellect.
He is a sensy boy.
Mhm.
He's our emo boy.
He's not intimidated by a strong, smart woman.
No, he's not.
So,
Because that's your number one, right?
what?
In these books, you're a Ruhn. You're a
In
Ruhner all the way.
these books,
You're Ruhn Dooner.
I'm a Ruhn Dooner.
Oh, God.
Yep.
Just disgusted myself.
Yeah. You
I'm
did it.
sorry.
You crossed too many things. Cross
many
the streams in
Too
a
many
bad way.
streams.
So he's also drawn to her voice, which is lilting to his sensitive fey ears. They can hear more complex sounds than our Boro Snoro human ears. He thinks about the sexual encounters he didn't repeat because the sounds they made while they were climaxing.
Whoa, man, we've been so busy thinking about all the fey smells that they could
It's
smell
true.
that I wasn't busy having anxiety about what they could hear. Oh my God. Even just thinking about, like, I feel like if you're younger, like, I would probably be even embarrassed by, like, the sounds my hungry stomach would make.
Totally.
You know what I mean? Like, as I feel like, do you remember those years in your life of, like, oh, I couldn't possibly make my stomach make a sound in front of a boy.
Of course.
So,
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to be a girl in general.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess some of their screeching when he was filling them with so much pleasure was just like, can't do this again.
Can't do
man.
this again. Too performative, you know?
Yeah. He sits with the witch in the courtyard of this office, which sounds very pretty. It's flowers everywhere, and he can scent lavender and I think jasmine. I forget what he smells. He smells a bunch of smelly good things. And he sits with her in this beautiful courtyard over tea and cheese. So it's a pleasant experience. From their conversation, we learn a few things. The witch he's speaking to was taught by ancient scholars in some place called Pelium by the Ruhn Sea. This is just a place we haven't really heard about. So we get like the idea of the world's bigger, but we don't know how it's laid out at all. I've seen a couple people do fan theories of maps of how the world is set up around Crescent City, but it's like pure, just like speculation.
Yeah, it's all conjecture.
But they can kind of base things on like stuff is north, stuff is south, across a thing.
That's the kind of thing I never could be asked to do.
Oh,
I
no.
don't understand. I'll be like, I don't know, around yon? That way.
Especially, I am not good with direction, like north, south, east, west kind of directions. Like I'm not paying attention.
My
enough.
favorite, how many times Jeff has been like, just look at the sun. And I'm like, you say this as if I know, like, I just like, obviously. And he says, obviously, as he points, I'm like, where are the hands on the sun's clock? Okay? If it's obvious, I'd like it to be digital.
Also, if a man tells me to look at the sun, I'm going to keep looking until my eyes
Until my
black
eyes
out. I'm
hurt.
blind. And I say, when do I stop looking? How will I know? And then by that point, I'm already blind. And that he's like, that's not what you're supposed to do. And I didn't know.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to listen and obey.
As we should, everybody. I just think it's kind of fun sometimes how I continue to surprise my husband with how unobservant I am. I don't pay attention to anything.
Of
Anything. Mostly anything.
like, as in you're like walking off the edge of a pier and stuff.
I mean, I kind of live in my own world up here, which is great and also very frustrating, I imagine, for someone that has to deal with me all the time.
Oh no, I
generally.
don't think that about you at all. But also that's probably because I'm constantly in.
I think that's why we get along so well. I think we both are wrapped up in our own brain spaces, and then we see each other and we go, oh my God, I love
hey."
it when you're in my brain space. It's so much more fun when you're here too.
Yeah, it's
Why
more-
don't I do that more often?
Ah! Well, I think it's fine.
Talk about how much we can't rely on ourselves. The backdrop shifted half an inch, and Natalie and I's reaction was, "Ah!" Not doing anything, not moving out of the way of possible any danger.
It might fall. We'll see.
Well, I think we should keep it in. I like our reactions.
It is exciting for everyone. What will they think of next?
Oh.
So, where are we?
Roggency.
He asks her about repairing broken objects, which is what they're trying to figure out how if somebody could repair Luna's horn. Do the witches have any idea? Has she ever heard of the witches doing something like that? And he admits, because she doesn't say the words Luna's horn, but she's like, "Are you talking about Luna's horn?"
Yeah.
And he kind of hedges, but then he's like, "Yes, that's kind of what we're trying to figure out." She tells him that she knows of no way, and that other more talented witches than her have tried before, none succeeded. He offers the suggestion of maybe considering, have you ever thought about your magic mixed with the technology that you use in the medical field? And she hasn't, and she thinks about it. And she says, yes, perhaps it would be worthy of attempting using medical equipment mixed with magic and treating the horn as though it's a living being. So almost like doing surgery on it.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
Well, because something that's surging with that much magic has got to be treated with more of, of a respect, like a living, breathing actual object.
Which is a cool concept. So
see, that is if magic exists. I mean, we've got to, guys.
That's
everyone.
Just where the signs point scientifically. So she says, perhaps, she says with a little more warning, maybe somebody already has done that. And then he asks about that weird thing that they know about the horn, which is that allegedly it's only to be repaired by light that's not light, magic that's not magic.
Oh, what is it? Another Sphinx over here?
I mean, it's all riddles with the Fae.
Yeah, man.
And he does point out that kind of sounds like that could be technology.
Like, isn't that electricity? Is that not the internet?
Yeah. So she doesn't know exactly what that means, but she doesn't shut him down. She stares at him and offers him a warning of caution that he needs to be very careful if he is going to be looking into this horn deeper. He seems dazed by her beauty and her scent, though he hasn't expressed whether that is him being drawn in a sexual, romantic way. He just seems sort of captivated by this woman.
God, if only. Again, it's like that. I know I've said this before, but I wish that I could pull off mysterious. I wish I could pull off captivating.
You can. I wouldn't say you could be mysterious, but I think you're captivating.
Do you hear how I snort laugh? Can you imagine someone watching that and being like, "Wow, a goddess at work"?
I think people do think that about you.
Meanwhile, I make my Muppet noises when the backdrop moves.
No, I think that you are captivating. I would not necessarily classify you as mysterious, but I also wouldn't about myself. I don't think that's our strength, and that's okay.
I think you're captivating, though.
Oh, I thank you.
Yeah, I do think that you are, especially with your strength and how you own yourself and you own any situation you go into. And I think that is captivating.
Oh my God, stop it.
We're here to build each other up, Natalie.
Okay, good.
And thank you. Yep, slurp it down, bitch. Captivating.
He offers his condolences to her at the loss of their recently departed witch queen, which seems to deeply sadden this med witch. He thinks about the deceased queen, whose name was HOEAB. The queen was beloved by her people, and he knew it would affect their community for a long while. He wants to know if the new queen might hold the answer in the med witch's opinion. The med witch smiles and tells him that he will have to wait because she's going to make her first appearance at the summit, and perhaps he can ask her then.
Oh, it's a date then.
Something. He seems taken by this witch, almost feels connected to her somehow. We'll see what happens there.
All right.
The next chapter, we're back with Hunt, who is being visited by Isaiah on the roof of Griffin. He's there to deliver the news that Victoria has discovered some more security camera abnormalities. Isaiah tells Hunt how on edge everyone is due to Sandriel's presence, especially since she's delighting in the knowledge that she holds of when Pollux, the cruel and infamous Pollux, is going to be arriving to join her for the summit. So nobody in this area in Lunathian is looking forward to Pollux showing up because he is cruel. And she's kind of enjoying that people don't know when. And so they're all like looking
On
over their shoulders,
edge.
acting like the wall's falling down behind them or something.
Ugh. It makes for a difficult work day, I will say. Too much stress.
I know, right?
It's like on, like today is a good pud day. It's like a good pud day here at work. Everybody's on edge. Everybody's when will the puds arrive?
Yeah.
And it is scary to think about Henry and I eating savory pudding.
Well, I know Henry gets into that presidential mode on good pud days where I don't even try to ask him questions.
You can't.
He's like basically above me somewhere in some high castle wall room.
Mhm.
I'm just like, well, I'll have a husband tomorrow.
Yes, no, he
know?
must sit in his prince's chair and he must stare for at least 4.5 hours on the day of good pud.
Yes.
I'm glad that we finally confess this to other people because we're all really sitting on pins and needles over here.
Sitting on pins and needles.
Is that the phrase?
I think it's walking on eggshells.
Capping on mushrooms.
Oh.
Put the cap back on the mushroom.
Put them caps on.
Maybe I've been looking at a lot of stuffed mushroom recipes.
Ooh.
Natalie.
No, I'm hungry.
You gonna get some stuffed mushrooms in your future, bitch.
Oh my God. That sounds exciting. And I'm hungry right now. And that's making me angry.
I'm here to feed.
She's got the need to feed, guys.
Mhm.
So, he's getting all this information, this intel from Isaiah. And Hunt offers to Isaiah his assistance if Isaiah needs any help with dealing with Sandriel. And then Hunt proceeds to feel a bit of shame when Isaiah is sort of gobsmacked that Hunt is offering assistance. Not because he thought Hunt was a hateful person or anything. He's just incredibly closed off and he's not used to Hunt volunteering his energy and time
to work with other people. I
Yeah.
think it's also it too, is that he usually seems like he works alone.
What could have changed?
Oh, a bit of a knee stroke, is it?
A bit of these stroking a lot of knees these days.
That's all it takes.
Isaiah tells Hunt that Vic wants to see him and Bryce in person. He reminds Hunt a little pointedly that he best not jeopardize this mission. Hunt thinks he means Bryce. I don't know if he's got her on the brain much.
Damn, son.
But Isaiah's like, yeah, don't do that. But I mean wrongfully accuse Sabine.
Yeah, just hold on. Why don't you wait until you definitely have some proof or something?
Yeah, because she ends up not being a part of all of this. And then she gets her name thrown in. It's
Oh.
going to be, you're going to be on a shit list, buddy.
Shit going down.
Hunt's like, gee, thanks. I didn't realize that. Just then, he gets a series of texts from Bryce and is startled to realize that she has somehow broken into his phone. She eventually informs him that she watched him type it in a few times while he watched Sunball.
Bryce.
She broke in, changed her contact name to Bryce Rocks My Socks, and added a picture of herself to it. She's texting him at that moment, teasing Hunt about he and Isaiah being pigeons on the roof of the antiquity store. And he texts her back as Isaiah watches. As he puts his phone away,
He found Isaiah watching him carefully.
there are worse things than death, you know.
Hunt looked toward the comitium, the female archangel lurking in it.
I know.
Oh, he already knows.
But I just love that he's so thirsty for her. Isaiah can just tell by the way his face goes when he's texting him. Texting her.
But also seeing that she changes to Bryce Rocks My Sock, that all of that, how could he not pretend that it's not affecting him
But,
and
but
warning
Hunt isn't a
him?
silly. But is he?
might wanna
But what
be
if he is a silly? What if he's a silly? This is, of course, this is Isaiah talking about in reference to Bryce being forbidden fruit and that, he's got to be very, very careful. Even though Hunt insists that nothing's going on, Isaiah is not convinced nor fooled.
Nah, dude, because, like, besides the look on your face, again, scents change, like, things change. When you start falling for somebody, it is so insanely apparent
Oh, yeah.
to almost everybody else.
I think we were talking about that one of the recent episodes, but yeah, like, even if you think you're hiding it, you never are.
No.
Yeah. So not only is she off limits for work reasons, she's also a reminder she has rejected Micah publicly, and methinks he won't be too understanding if Hunt swoops in.
Probably not, and especially not understanding about the deal that they made, and I imagine him fucking Bryce is not a part of that deal.
No. A little later, Bryce and Hunt are about to head over to see Victoria and learn whatever info she has to offer, but it's raining. Bryce is irritated about getting her suede shoes wet, but Hunt wants to fly them over. But she's also casually noticing how Hunt hasn't changed out her name and photo in his phone as he types on it. So she's like, oh, well, he didn't change it. So he can't be that mad.
Can't be that mad.
He tells her he'll get them there quickly, and she kind of starts to protest, but before she can argue too much, he just sort of scoops her up and launches her into the sky, at which point she clings to him and hisses like a cat, quote.
I know that's not hissing like a cat, but that's the sound I would make.
You don't think you would scream?
No, I definitely would, but I think I would scream like that. Stop!
You wouldn't feel like complete terror, though?
No.
I feel like I wouldn't either, just because, like, he's
Flies all
not
the
gonna
time.
drop
Yeah, he's not gonna
you.
drop you. You're like, I feel like, honestly, you'd want that kind of, like, an angel's not gonna drop you. Hunt is not going to drop her. There's no fucking way.
No.
And I feel like, but like, you have to be able to talk about these things. I remember going to a pool party for the first time when Jeff and I were just dating, and I had to do the whole, like, I am not joking. Do not push me into this pool. And I'm not saying that in a, like, don't push me in the, like, I'm terrified of the water. I will, like, it will not be okay. And it is not something that I will come back from easily.
Yeah.
And like, or at all. And I made that very clear. And he's like, heard. And then never did it.
Well, I
So,
mean,
like,
it's that litmus test that was going around on social media for a while of the husband smashing the cake in the woman's face on the wedding day. Had you followed any of that?
No.
So basically, it was like all of these very unfortunate captures of people on their wedding day where the bride is asking, like, please don't do that, and the husband refusing to not stop. And
I would stop the wedding. I'd be like, reverse it.
Well,
Take it back.
and a lot of times it would get kind of like half violent. Like he would like shove her over and stuff. And that is a thing that people were kind of pointing out. Like this is sort of like subtle, letting you know that he's never going to respect anything about you.
Yeah.
In your marriage.
That's insane.
And obviously that's a huge overarching, like that is not an exaggeration, but like it's not always going to be that case.
No, but like,
but
that's, especially if you've asked him not
Yes.
to. Like, it's one thing, it's like, oh, well, if he just does it, well, that's just being stupid and thought that they were being funny. But if you specifically asked not to do that and they still did that, hell no.
Also,
Hell no.
even that on the day, if the bride is very much like, you can tell she's being serious, like, please don't ruin this makeup that took fucking
And that you
3
paid
hours
so
this
much
morning,
money, most likely, to get done.
and then still does it. Like, that is some red flag behavior, but a little bit late, unfortunately.
Oh, baby.
But you still have time for an annulment.
Yes, at that point, yeah. Oh, I would get that shit reversed.
So she is swooped up in his arms, and
Would you scream? I'm sorry, I didn't even ask you.
I think it would be like a roller coaster scream, like I'd be excited about it.
Yeah.
She buries her face in his chest, merely for staying dry, of course. It's just because she doesn't want to get wet.
Yeah, don't worry about the shoes, but her face.
She can't help notice the scent and warmth of him.
God, I bet he smells good.
He coaxes her to look, but she's resistant, feeling scared of the height. Though I think she doth protest too much, personally. I think she's doing a little bit of like, no, I can't. No. He tells her not to be a baby.
The richness of his voice skittering over every bone of her body.
He teases her, offering a reward of a milkshake if she will look and see the sights of the city.
Her toes curled in her shoes at the low, coaxing voice.
Uh-oh, guys.
Uh-oh.
Got a toe curl.
It's a toe curl, everybody. Uh-oh.
What that means.
I'm guessing curling my toes right now, right? I'm doing it. But I feel that's more of a clench, and I don't know. I guess your toes curl if you're like, about to orgasm, I'm sure. But I don't know if I'm turned on if I'm clenching my toes.
I kind of get it. Like, it's not necessarily what I would do, but I get, like, when you get, like, the tingles in your belly.
Yeah.
I think it's like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I do it, lay it upon everybody's feet. Do your toes curl? And maybe it's something that I just don't experience, and it's like, Jackie, everybody that's unabolic, it's horny, because our toes curl.
You're right. And you have toe deficiency.
Oh my God, I've got toe deficiency, Natalie.
Yeah.
Is it because I don't wear heels?
You've got toe deficiency, but you've got toed efficiency.
Whoa.
Which is good.
Toad like ribbit?
Yeah.
Aw, all right, I'll eat flies. Oh my God, it'd be so cute on a lily pad. But anyway, sorry.
You would be cute on a lily pad. She finally peels her eyes open, and we get a very Superman and Lois Lane moment. This is a little bit of a long passage, but I think it's a really good visual of the city, and I know for me that helps me keep storylines straight. So if you would mind.
In the rain, the marble buildings gleamed like they were made from moonstone. The gray cobblestone streets appeared polished. A silvery blue splashed with the gold of the first lamplights. To her right, the gates in the old square, Moonwood, and Firo rose through the sprawl, like the humped spine of some twining beast breaking the surface of a lake, their crystal gleaming like melting ice. From this high, the avenues that linked them all, the ley lines beneath them, shot like spears through the city. The wind rattled the palms, tossing the fronds to and fro, their hissing almost drowning out the cranky honking of drivers now in a traffic standstill. The whole city, in fact, seemed to have stopped for a moment, except for them, swiftly passing above it all.
I like to toss the fronds to and fro sometimes.
Man, my fronds are always rustling, and that means I am bustling, baby. Get on it. I'm a fern bitch.
Fern bitch.
We
have two palms in our yard at our house.
So I guess you are a fern bitch.
Yeah.
Do you ever watch the fronds pass to and fro?
I do love it because the squirrels climb all the way to the top, and they are tall.
Palm trees. Big palm trees. Oh yeah, those are cool. They're interesting here, and I believe that they were brought here from Tahiti, if I remember.
They're not
Uber
native.
Driver. Yeah, that they were. I think it was like an Uber driver was telling me about how that they were put in Los Angeles, and they are not native to Los Angeles, but the ones that stayed are also like, they're so bendy that they work with the winds, and that's how they've been able to stay all of these generations.
Yeah, they were basically brought here, I think, to make it more exotic and like not seem like a desert. I guess.
And now, I mean, it is known for its palm trees, so I guess they did their
Oh,
job.
I guess
a little bit of Los Angeles history for
A
you.
little bit of invasive species never hurt
I guess you're
anything.
wondering.
It does hurt a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I
but-
think it does. But, not us.
Nah, we're crushing it.
Fuck yeah.
They get to the lab where Victoria is finally. So they go through this romantic / not romantic flight over the city. I loved the description of the city that she gave there. It's very romantic and beautiful.
And also, I'm lied to you, Natalie. I would be screaming this entire time. I feel like in the same way that I feel like I could get in a hot air balloon, and anybody that's ever been in a hot air balloon is like, Jackie, you will be actually terrified if you even attempt to get inside of a hot air balloon. So I really probably would cry the entire time.
As somebody who's really not afraid of heights, I have no interest in getting in a hot air balloon. It seems like an insane decision to
Basket in the sky.
You are just open air in a basket, hip level. What if you trip?
Anything. You gotta go, you gotta get down at some point. And that sounds scary. I don't think a basket can handle it.
Just
I
a
know
big
it
open
does.
flame above you?
So it's like hot, but it's cold, and you can't hear anybody the entire time. I'm sure that it's beautiful. Also, I will say anybody that's ever been in a hot air balloon has told me it's one of the most magical things they've ever fucking done. But it's also pure fear. But, who am I?
I feel like I can
Bitch
have a
stare
more
in the sky.
magical experience than that.
I'm proud of you, Natalie. Get up there. And also, again, if you are in the arms of someone that you know, you will never be dropped.
I would immediately choose being carried by hand by an angel over a hot air balloon. What crazy person would choose a hot air balloon over that? Safety-wise, even. I'm not even just talking about sexually. I just mean
Oh, yeah, I'm only
much
talking...
safer
Yes, no,
with an
yeah.
angel.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm sure a hot air balloon can be sexy. Are you enjoying the sandwich? I just imagine screaming as you're trying to have a picnic in the basket.
Imagine if this book ended because he dropped her.
Oh, and there we go. Well, SJM, I guess, didn't want to continue
Didn't
with
want
the
to finish the
mystery.
book anymore, I guess. So they go through this flight. They end up back at the lab where Victoria is. And Bryce is brought back in her memories to the night of the murders, which is never fun for her. Both she and Victoria greet each other as if they are meeting for the first time, though they both know they've already met because if you recall the way back at the beginning, Vic was the one interrogating her when she was in like her catatonic state. And she was being like hard on her because they were trying to get information about all of these murders that just happened.
That's her job. Sorry, Bryce.
If you'll recall also, Vic is a wraith, but that means she doesn't have her own body, but she's been in this one body with black hair, alabaster skin, and green eyes. And the halo tattoo can't hide her loveliness.
Obviously, you are having a great face day. I am having a huge mental block right now, Natalie.
Yes.
The wraiths that's the same species of creatures that Feyre helps with Tamlin, right? Were those the wraiths that were in the water? Do you remember that?
No, those are
It's a water wraith.
Oh, okay, a water wraith.
I just didn't know. I just was like, are they like, is this Victoria the same kind of person? Because like that kind of creature. So I imagine a water wraith is very different than a wraith.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure that Sarah, Nuala and Saradrin are wraiths. Remember the shadow?
Yes, like that. The ones that help put. Oh yes. Ooh. I'm sorry. I'm just like, I could like lose myself for the next fucking half hour reading about water wraiths versus regular wraiths.
It doesn't make sense though, because like the water wraith is nothing like a shadow, but
a wraith is a type of fae creature associated with death and darkness, while a water wraith is a specific kind of wraith that specifically draws power from water, essentially a water-based spirit with ghostly characteristics, making the water wraith a more specialized form of the general. A new way of saying it. You're welcome. The general wraith in the ACOTAR universe.
It's because that's not the way she describes the physicality of the water wraith.
Right. They're slender and gray skinned.
You know,
and they wear no clothes.
She can use her imaginations and make it up.
Sorry, it probably didn't matter. I apologize.
No!
Thank you for
you don't gotta apologize.
Entertaining me.
It's too late to apologize. I don't care. I like talking theories, but this Victoria is a wraith, as in she has no form except for the body she inhabits, and she's been in this body for a while. Unlike the night where she was trying to gain info from Bryce, Victoria is friendly and open with her, and Bryce kind of takes to her pretty fast. She presents what she has to show the duo, a grainy surveillance photo of a foot from the night before.
Whoa, interesting. Like our conversation from earlier. I hope they got paid good money.
That's why I hope Hunt doesn't get too excited. We know how much he likes toads.
Yeah, babe.
So it's not like a severed foot, but they caught a foot leaving frame. And this isn't, so yes, not a WikiFeet type picture. Victoria has noticed a massive temperature fluctuation. She was monitoring those things when she was informed by them that the kristallos is probably a demon from hell. That usually means that there's going to be this huge, like, icy freeze when they enter their world. So she started, like, just tracking temperature fluctuations. And one happened in Moonwood the night prior. So she goes over to the surveillance cameras at that space during that time, and she manages to grab an image from that moment, and what looks like a taloned monster foot can be
That's
seen.
insane. I'm so glad I'm not a detective. I'd be really bad at it. I even just like that. It's like, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I wouldn't have thought about that. And it's like, it's for the best, Jackie, that you're not trying to solve any crimes.
Were you ever going to be a detective?
I thought for a moment, when I was younger, that I wanted to be at least a police officer.
Oh, yeah, 'cause your dad.
Yeah, because of my dad. And my dad did talk me out of it.
I think that's good.
Yes.
Not because of like you. I just don't.
No,
think
straight up. He
being
even
a
said,
cop
which is
sucks.
kind of crazy, even as a boomer, that he said, like, it has nothing to do with you, like, being a woman. It has to do with the system and what it is and what you have to essentially sign up for. And
Right.
he didn't want to watch me go through that. And I
Yeah.
understood that.
Totally. They know what this foot is. They all are aware when they see this picture, but they wait for Bryce to identify it as one of the few witnesses who's ever seen one fully clearly. And she confirms, yes, this is a kristallos' foot. She was able to account for the temperature drop right before Maximus Tertian's death as well, as in Victoria said this is the same exact 77 degrees drop that happened right near Max Tertian's death. Thankfully, the night before, there wasn't a death recorded. So even though she found this photo and obviously a kristallos is around somewhere, nobody died last night. But also nothing good could be happening either.
No, because it's still sniffing around and we got to go get it.
Now what's it doing? Especially maybe it's going to open mics. Trying to make it.
Trying to do a tight 5.
Yeah.
And then, we support you, kristallos. Like, I don't want to go to your bringer shows, but I do wish you health and happiness. Oh, kristallos, you're the funniest thing from hell.
So they know something's afoot with the foot.
Natalie.
Especially because she was able to track the demon and it had circled around Sabine's compound. So basically Victoria was able to track the temperature fluctuations and like catch little glimpses of it, and it was circling around Sabine's compound, which is not a good sign.
Who, me?
Yes, you.
Uh-oh, couldn't be.
Then who?
Uh-oh, Natalie, get your fucking hands out of the cookie jar.
I will never.
Natalie.
Bryce is struck with a flashback and rising panic, just thinking again about how she's going to have to deal with Sabine. Suddenly, Hunt's hand is on her thigh, giving it reassurance. She glances at him, but he's not even looking at her, just giving her knee a stroke like, business partners do to one another.
Obviously.
As he continues to speak with Victoria. However, Victoria clocks it and gives Hunt a warning glare.
That's the thing, Hunt. Don't you realize that all of them are really good at spotting things? You think that that's not gonna get noticed?
It's just like stroking her bare thigh.
Yeah,
like,
in front of everybody.
Can you imagine just like somebody you know is not in a relationship just starts doing that and you're just like, this seems like I shouldn't be looking.
Certainly lying about there being anything between you two, because again, that's not how coworkers touch each other. Or again, unless we're doing something wrong here at LP.
Maybe. Let us know. Let us know in the comments. So he removes his hand as Victoria kind of gives him a little bit of a warning. As Victoria tells them that the demon was tracked last to the Rose Gate that night. So after the demon kind of trounced around the Sabine compound area, he apparently skipped over to the Rose Gate and then seems to disappear into thin air.
It's like, go take a vacation, kristallos. I think you deserve it.
I know. I think so, too. I feel like he works really hard.
He's been really good at being a kristallos for a while, and I think he needs a break.
Aww. So they've learned all this information, and at chapter 41, we're back with Hunt as he and Bryce attempt to close up Griffin for the evening. So they've like gone and done their stuff with Victoria, had to go back to work so she could like finish her day, lock it up, and they of course have to get Syrinx home, even though they have already decided the two of them need to go to Phiro this evening to investigate where the kristallos was last spotted. Syrinx obviously needs to go home though. But
somebody needs to take a nap on the couch.
Oh, yeah, Syrinx worked hard. So Syrinx is hysterical because it's raining. And like Bryce is like struggling with Syrinx to get him out of the doors they're locking up because he don't want to go in the rain.
No.
But Hunt manages to calm him by picking him up in a magic wind and placing him in Bryce's arms. Oh, okay. Wow.
He's good with Syrinx too.
Wow. Okay, just drop her panties, why don't you?
Good lord.
So he then scoops all three. He flies all three of them back to her house, where they drop Syrinx off, quickly change, and head over to the Rose Gate, where they want to try to look for clues or signs of why the demon may have shown up that night, the night prior to the Rose Gate.
In the centuries since the Fae had decided to cover their gate with flowers and climbing plants, the Rose Gate had become one of the biggest tourist draws, with thousands of people flocking there each day to give a drop of power to make a wish on its dial pad, nearly hidden beneath ivy, and to snap photos of the stunning little creatures who now made their nests and homes within the tangle of green. But at this hour, in this weather, even the Rose Gate was quiet, dark.
I think I would die for a rose quartz archway with flowers growing up the sides.
Please, give it to me.
Just kill me with your exterior design, Sarah.
I know, she's so good at it, but imagine how heavy it is.
But like, it would be so baller to have that, like in
Yeah,
your
dude.
backyard.
And you could make wishes on it.
I mean, I would.
Jeez. Oh my god.
They are both still obviously juiced up for one another in this scene, and Hunt forces his mind to quiet as she leans into him so they could both look at a photo they were given by Vic to look at, evidence stuff, but they're like also having to touch each other.
Oh.
They both ponder over what all of this means, how the demon could keep disappearing and reappearing all around town, and then Hunt is struck with an idea. They had already previously considered that perhaps the demon was using the ley lines to get that surge of energy to get like through these gates, right? But there is another system that he hadn't considered running along the same lines. The sewer system.
Bum, bum, bum.
Bryce is like, no.
Yeah, dude, no thank you. Don't.
Oh, good. We get to go run around through the sewers.
I'm not like a sewer kind of gal.
I know people look at me and think,
Sewer?
she loves sewers.
That bitch? Sewer bitch. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
I would
you
never call you that.
You could call me like a trash woman, like a
I
garbage
would
person.
Never, ever, never, ever.
You know. But yeah, not a sewer girl. I'm just
Nah.
going to say it.
Well, all right. I guess here we're not sewer bitches. And, maybe you are that's listening. And somebody's got to go down in that sewer.
Yeah, you deserve the best paycheck of all.
We celebrate you and we
Mhm.
support you.
I think it'd be badass if there were, if like I saw a woman like sewer, like, what's it called? Upkeeper?
Yeah, dude. Somebody
Sewer
that just,
maintenance?
Maintenance just like pops off the fucking cap off the street and is like, bye, just like
Yeah.
jumps through.
Yeah, I'd be like, fucking right. I'd clap for her.
Like, yeah, you scary bitch is probably what I would say as they
And
jump into the
congratulate her
sewers.
for
Oh,
her
yes.
government benefits.
And then I would stand by the grates of the sewer being like, you got this. Keep going.
She'd be like, get the fuck away from me.
Jackie, shut up! As it's just going through the sewers.
Yes, queen.
Stop! I'm already down here. Stop supporting me.
As much as Bryce complains, she's the one who actually wants them to go down there as soon as humanly possible. As soon as angelly possible. Ah.
Yeah, it works.
She mostly wants Hunt to go down as soon as anciently possible. But Hunt reasonably says that they have no weapons with them and creatures live in the sewers, so no, not gonna just jump right in.
Probably not a good idea.
Hunt also knows that if it really is Sabine calling the demons shots,
I'm a bitch.
and he would have, if he had to face off with her weaponless in the sewer, with his full power, he would absolutely be able to do that. But his power has been restrained by the halo, and he probably wouldn't be able to face off with her weaponless. And with Bryce not making the drop, he doesn't want to risk that.
He
Not
can't
on.
put her in that kind of danger.
Instead, Hunt has another idea. The sewers lead to the Istros, the river winding around Lunathian. Maybe the water folk have seen something, or rather, the House of Many Waters folk. Hunt has a contact there.
Oh, really?
Oh, he does. Satisfied with that for the night, Hunt suggests they go home. So he wants to be like, look, let's wrap it up this evening. I would like to not be in the sewer
It's
anymore.
pouring outside. They just want to go home.
Yeah. But Bryce tries to coax him out to the docks to look for clues instead. But he shuts her down. He also adds a little vulnerable truth. We're not doing this, but I gotta say, I have fun with you, Quinlan. That's what he says. Their squabbling seems to open something up in him, and she blushes a little at the honesty. And do you know what? Maybe Hunt is a bit of a silly.
I think he is.
'Cause
Bryce rocks his socks.
He snaps a picture of her soaking wet and covered in sewer grit to her chagrin. But she loves it. But he does it because he calls her a drowned sewer rat. And then she's like, stop it!
Stop! Oh, I'm a lady. I'm not a rat.
We cut back to the apartment and Bryce practically runs into the shower, feeling gross from their investigation. She's still in the shower when Hunt knocks on the door asking where soap is. He also teases her to make sure to wash between her toes, you little fucking pervert.
Yeah, he's got to make sure they're clean.
It is now officially canon that Hunt has a foot fetish.
Yes.
And he's all horned up thinking about washing her toes.
Oh, yeah.
Bryce doesn't know, of course, his filthy little thoughts, so she just gives him the finger from the shower, even though he can't see it. Shortly after this, he knocks again on the bathroom door, sounding grave. Bryce is just getting out of the shower and is immediately on high alert. She puts a towel on and skids out into the hallway where he's standing in front of the linen closet. And finally, we get to meet the real star of the book. Because Hunt is just fucking with her. He's, of course, shirtless.
Yeah, has to be.
But he asks her if she wants to tell him something.
She gulped, scanning him from head to toe.
About what? About what the fuck this is?
He extended his hand, opened up his big fist. A purple, glittery unicorn lay in it. This scene, I
So
mean,
cute.
everybody gather around. Everybody's wet. Everybody's cold.
Nude.
Everybody's a long day. And now we're talking about unicorn Pegasus.
So she grabs this little purpley thing from his hand, and Hunt had apparently found a box containing some very glittery unicorn Pegasuses in the linen closet. She is surprised, to say the least, and she points out, you asked for soap, and the soap is directly in front of you in the closet. Why did you go out of the way to pull this box down from the top? He looks bashful for a minute, explaining that he saw purple glitter. She accuses him of thinking that it must have been a sex toy, which is why he grabbed it. He does not answer. Instead, he asks her why they're in there. And this is an aside from the narrative part of the story that I find it's impactful in that we don't need this scene to move the story along, but it's very important to who Bryce is.
Well, because I feel like there's so many scenes that we learn so much about them and their relationships while they're in the middle of doing 20 other things.
Totally.
And there's not that many scenes of the quiet moments because there's just so much that happens in this book that I like that she takes the time to be like, also, they have regular moments as well.
Right. No, I agree. This is like a moment of respite from that. And this is obviously, everybody knows that what he found is Jelly Jubilee.
Hunt.
And Bryce goes on to explain, this is a toy from my childhood. And it's not only a toy. This was the toy of all toys.
It was the toy. It was the Tickle Me Elmo of Lunathian.
Yes. She had quite a collection of these little unicorn Pegasuses. But almost no little girls had the Jelly Jubilee, the purple glittery one.
Whoa. I guess it wasn't like I guess Tickle Me Elmo was difficult. I guess it's more like the Princess Diana Beanie Baby, which I do still own. And yes, the tag is in its cover.
Well, I also imagine this is directly a reference to My Little Pony.
Princess Diana.
I know.
Beanie Baby.
Probably it's about the Princess Diana Beanie Baby.
Thank you.
So Jelly Jubilee was the most hard to get of all of the Pegasus unicorn. What are they called? Starlight Fancy. That's what it's called.
Starlight Fancy.
Jelly Jubilee is the most hard to get of all of the Starlight Fancy different unicorns or Pegasuses.
I would also do anything for anything named Starlight Fancy.
I
I
know.
already like Starlight Express, even though we know it's not good. But Starlight Fancy, that sounds like, I mean, mix. It's like put these unicorn Pegasi
Uh-huh.
in with the people on roller skates that are acting like trains. And I think that's magic.
I
Upscale.
agree. She was the hardest by far to get, but Bryce's mom had went out of her way to get it for Bryce. Bryce, of course, has always felt a little bit on the outside, a little bit weird next to other kids, and she had felt very much like an outsider around the human children she went to school with. But having Jelly Jubilee was this neutralizer for her, gave the little girls and presumably gay little boys a reason to play with her. Hunt watches her wistfully run her hands over each of the brightly colored unicorns and Pegasus in the box.
His eyes shone as she gently set the box on the high shelf.
I'll never laugh at them again. This is what I think is an obvious reference to My Little Ponies. And if you watch any interviews with Sarah that she does from her home office, she has a shelf of My Little Ponies sitting behind her. So I think this is like her own childhood thing. she's about.
Gotcha. Because she couldn't get a Princess Diana bear, and I think that's really sad for her.
Did you not have My Little Ponies?
No, I missed out on the My Little Ponies. I think it was also the whole older brother thing, so I
Yeah.
didn't really have, like, I would, like, rip the heads off the Barbies, and I didn't want anything that was, like, you know, in the early 90s scene as girly.
I loved me some ponies. Woo, my best friend had the little dance studio for the ponies. That
Whoa.
was fucking quality.
Did they hoof about the town? Were they dancers?
They no, but like Barbie would just they would have different
Ah, gotcha.
and they had a cartoon.
Do they, like, fight evil?
I don't remember. I think that they just like hung out in a cool land and played.
Hell yeah. There ain't nothing wrong with that.
They were so fun. Like a lot of them had like they did have scents to them, like smells, because she talks about that in the book about the Starlight Fancies, and they all had different little things on their butts. Like they all had different little
Oh, like Care Bears.
kinda. Yeah,
Ah.
I know y'all love. There's a lot of you out there who had My Little Pony.
It's
love,
why I
right?
ask. I know My Little Ponies, but I guess this is my ultimate confession. I know nothing about, I've never seen an episode. I don't know. I know that they're multicolored, cute ponies, but that's about it.
I assume because you're the younger sister with an older brother, that was probably just not in the.
Yeah, I was playing Ghostbusters. I was
I was playing Ghostbusters too. Yes. Because I also had I don't have sisters,
You had
but-
younger brothers, yeah.
but I think because I was like in ballet and stuff, I was already around all the girly
All
stuff.
in that.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. I pushed away from it early. But now I feel like I could get into My Little Ponies.
Let's become creepy adult My Little Pony fans.
Are we? I mean, I know the bronies exist, so what do you do?
Isn't there a lot of problems with them?
I think there is. But, you know, I think there's also like a beautiful vulnerability where people can find each other
Yeah.
with My Little Ponies.
Okay.
I just want to watch them move about the town.
I mean, I would get some vintage ones and just have them.
Hell yeah.
After her heartfelt moment with Hunt in the scene, as she's returning the box in place in the closet, she suddenly realizes she's only in a towel and Hunt is half dressed.
Guess you may as well fuck.
She
That's not.
no, that wouldn't be a
what
Sarah J
happens.
Maas book.
No, that's not what happens.
We need to edge for like 2 books. So she puts, she realizes like, oh my God, we're like half naked, and she puts on her smartass armor again and teases that if he wants to find her sex toys, they're in the left nightstand in her room. Which is not really like changing something, just kind of just like making it more sexual.
Yeah.
But this flusters Hunt. He feels very embarrassed because he's like, he definitely thought it was a sex toy.
Yeah, he definitely did. And they have that great teasing, flirty relationship. But I love that this makes him like,
No,
Oh,
You're a jerk.
oh,
Shut up.
What?
It flusters him enough that she saunters out of the hall and leaves it.
Love it.
So we should end here. They're going to be meeting some new cast members on the river next episode. One of I love this character.
Oh,
as well.
yes. I'm very, very excited.
There's a couple new intro characters in this next couple chapters.
Yeah, the characters only get better. It's really crazy that there's so many characters.
I mean, it
in
goes
this
downhill
series.
after Jelly Jubilee, obviously. But...
Yeah, I mean, sexually.
Ew.
No.
No. Why do we? I don't want to end
Not
on this.
sexually. Unicorns in the sky, they can fly twice as high. Take a look at my pants. There's gold.
No, stop it. This is getting worse.
I'm bringing it back to the beginning. All right, we gotta get it.